So most of us actually will have experienced the anxiety, the everything that new Scrum Masters face. And to those who are still looking forward to landing their first job, you may just find this one really, really, really very informative. So I will share my experience and I will tell you about how I think we really can make even more expansive progress on our job as flourishing Scrum Masters. So I will share my screen and just walk you through what I have for the team today. All right. So, all right. So this is it. For us, coping with change as a new Scrum Master, I really wouldn't take much of our time. I'll just go through the slides and leave you with a few lines of something to bring clarity to what I'm about to share with everyone. And then we can ask questions, we can interact. I think that's what Scrum is all about. Like I said, this experience is personal to me, and I think we would have some meeting points in terms of what we all went through to be where we are today. So the title is Coping with Change as a New Scrum Master. Coming to a new environment, coming to a new job, having to navigate the change from not having a job or being in an education field or being in the healthcare field or being in some kind of field to coming into the IT industry, where you have the gurus or the developers, some of them very scary looking with high expectations of you and all of that stuff. So, well, I will start with this. All right. The role of it, first of all, I want to feel that for me, one of the most challenging thing for me was a Scrum Master we wear many hats. You are a servant leader, you are a kind of a manager, not a project manager. You're like managing people and processes. You're a teacher, you are a coach, you are a facilitator, you are a mentor. Too much. I don't think there are many jobs that have this kind of variations. Most of the time you are a secretary at a place, you're a manager, you're a doctor. Your job roles are very specific. But for a Scrum Master, you're almost everything to everybody. Yet we know what we are doing and people still have expectations of us. So our role is not exactly very, very easy. So for me, as a new kid on the block, the challenges were obvious, but I tried to have the right composure. And then I was trying to navigate the change, bearing in mind all the instructions and knowledge and information I got from on becoming agile. I became more stable. I was able to sail through the process. It wasn't exactly easy, but it was real. The new environment has its own experience. Like I said, the fear of the unknown. When I got the job, my appointment letter, my job offer didn't detail exactly what I was supposed to do. That was the first anxiety. I was offered a job with good money. That was what I hoped for. And then every other job I've gotten in my life, people would tell you about your job descriptions. This guy did not put anything. It was so vague. And they will tell you as assigned to you by the supervisor. For for that navigation, it was a little bit challenging, but well, I thank God for on becoming agile. I already knew what was to come, to a reasonable extent. So the fear of the unknown was there, the anxiety was there, but I still moved forward. And that's my encouragement for everybody today, that you don't have to be exactly afraid. Courage is the word. It's not the absence of fear, but it's just an act of doing what you need to do despite the fear. So that was what I did. I had courage. and I moved forward. I believed in everything. My coach, all the coaches all over the place, Coach Femi, Coach Fumi, everybody else, my peers on the platform, everything everybody has shared, and I moved forward regardless. And then now, like I said about the confusion with the titles and expectation, the expectation was high. Some of these developers, they've actually worked with some Scrum Masters in the past. So they know exactly what a Scrum Master should do. All the reports, all the timesheets, all the processes, preparation for PIs, when the scope is changing, how sprints should be managed, how behavioral issues should be managed. They already know, some of them already know. So the expectation, will always be high. A few of the developers will probably be, maybe they're coming from the waterfall environment as well. Maybe they don't know a lot. But for those who have seen a Scrum Master in practice, especially the top guys, they raise the stake and you want to be worried. Oh my goodness. So how am I going to really place this guy? But it's really not a problem. You have to learn to switch the roles from being a teacher to being a coach, to being a role model, and yet not being a boss. You don't want to be. You're not really permitted to be anybody's boss, but you're all over the place in a very nice way, working with people, being a part of the team, encouraging people. It was really, again, Navi at first, but later it became a lot of fun. So the Scrum Master thing just became a second nature as circumstances were changing, and I was always attending all the OBA activities. I was always on that chat room, posting challenging stuff. People will respond, and I'll take that to work. It was really very helpful to me. And with my background as a teacher, I think I was able to fulfill the aspect of coaching and teaching. But when it came to when it comes to the area of the technical part, the component, I had a little bit of struggle. So I had to come back to OBA to get some heads up, and I think I got a lot of help, really. So moving forward again, servant leadership plus more, to be a servant. I've always known how to be a servant leader, maybe as a Christian. I understand that part. But you're a servant leader and yet you're a leader. It's a little bit, you don't know which way to go. For example, when people do some acceptable stuff, maybe somebody was being a bully in a team, you really cannot show your emotions. You have to show your professionalism. It was actually for me, an opportunity for me to show my expertise, to show how much I could manage emotion, I could manage people's temperament, I could walk people through agile practices and make them understand this is about teamwork, this is about collaboration. It's not about any individual genius. It's about everybody managing people. Even when I'm being insulted, for example, I can take that for the purpose of the goal of the sprint or the team. I have to swallow my pride and make sure that the work is getting done, and I'm getting everybody on my side to make sure that these guys, they are actually the main guys. I need to facilitate everybody who is actually trying to throw tantrum. I perceive that individual as an impediment. And I identify that I want to work with that, remove impediment, work with the impediment, made the impediment part of the team again, a refined part of the team again, and then we'll keep going. I will eliminate waste, manage the process right. I mean, it became fun at some point that this is a changing environment. Every day I'm challenged. I don't see my challenge as a problem. Rather, I see it as a new learning curve and an opportunity to shine as a new boy on the block, like I said. So it's really a journey that really is worth actually appreciating. I really feel being a Scrum Master. All of us will know about the norming, the forming, the performance phases of development. I went through all of that, and I'm thankful I'm here. My team is happy. My team is doing well. Everybody is excited. Now we know what is expected of everybody. And again, translating theories to practice. Sometimes we leave that platform extremely excited, especially when we're being trained for SAFE or some professional certification program. We are always happy with Coach Febi and Coach Fumi and everybody else that, oh my goodness, I have this knowledge, I'm going to pass. And then we pass. And then we have all the theories in our head. But when the situations confront us, real life, we tend to like, what's this? I think the biggest thing is for us to be able to immediately link those theories with the realities. I was confronted with that. For example, in the area of managing time boxing events, all of our events is Scrum are time boxed, and not everybody on the team like to stop talking when they have to stop talking because of the stipulated amount of time. Some people feel you're being rude a little bit, or you're not understanding the importance of the discourse. But the truth is, this is where our training comes to play. I was faced with that. I had to work with people, making them understand that, well, this conversation, I can understand how passionate you are about it. We can actually take this to the parking lot. You still have another opportunity. We can talk about this one-on-one with either the dev manager or a team member, or even me, anybody. You can talk more. But for the sake of discipline and adherence to principles of Scrum, we cannot go beyond the stipulated time. It can be less, but you're not exceeding this. And then people get used to that. Maybe they will not like it at first, but they got used to that. They respect you for that. And they respect Scrum for that. Because when they don't respect Scrum, they cannot respect you. That's just a fact. So I realized that. When you disrespect Scrum, you disrespect my job, you disrespect me. You make me less and less. So I learned that as well. And that is part of moving away from theories to practice. Again, this was one that I realized didn't really happen to me, but I've seen some of my colleagues on other teams facing this kind of challenges. Some developers think they are actually better than Scrum Masters. They demean our role. They feel that a Scrum Master is like an extra tire. Anybody can actually play your role. And we don't really need you. If you're not there, someone else can do what you do and all. At some point, I've seen people felt so threatened that, oh, really? So if this is how people feel about me, that means I could lose my job anytime soon. But I have found myself in a situation where I had to encourage people to understand that you have to put value on your job. The way you carry yourself, you need to learn to assert your authority. Not being, again, this thing comes with maturity, understanding, growth. You're not being forceful, you're being persuasive, being professional, make people understand that there's somebody in the room, so there's somebody in the house, there's a Scrum Master, there's a servant leader who is willing to be a team player, willing to help you and stuff. It's so much dynamic. I faced that, and I try to pass it on to some people who have been put down by some, I don't want to use some adjectives right now, some ignorant developers or some kind of technical people who feel that Scrum Masters were not really very important in the setting. We could do what they do. These guys are wasting time here. They're just getting money. They're just getting paid and all of that. But I think you make people appreciate you better, in my opinion, when you bring innovations. I like the interaction between Coach Fumi and I think Mamati, at the beginning of this meeting. We were talking about bringing new ideas to the team. This is one of the things that make people actually respect you. You have to look at the need. You have to be sensitive to the need, the Achilles heel of the team, and know how you can bring some innovation. That is when they look your way. They see that somebody is around, somebody is helping us. Like I actually bring COP as well. We call it Agile Center of Excellence. That was when everybody realized there was a guy around. I felt that there was so much ignorance across board. Dev manager, developers, other Scrum Masters, everybody was struggling to understand the concept of Scrum. So I suggested it to, through the project, product owner, dev manager, and everything like that. And we had to discuss it at SOS, So we have to be innovative. that was one way of gaining my confidence back. So, and again, it became a novelty across the organization. So everybody now is feeling, the excitement of Scrum, the language of Scrum, everything that we do. People, it's becoming easier for Scrum Masters to actually practice and to do what we need to do. So it is not uncommon to see people try to put Scrum Masters down because they feel that you really don't do a lot. You're not doing a lot. You don't deserve your pay or your wage. But when we do things, when we make them understand the difference that we bring by transforming them from waterfall to agile, making them more productive, more efficient, creating an atmosphere around them that make them more relaxed, that make them more valuable, more valued. People tend to appreciate even the agency or the agent of change. That's what I think. That's what I did, and I think that can be really, really very, very good for any Scrum Master who is just coming around. You have to watch, what is going on. You have to look at the culture. You have to look at the practice. You have to look at what you can do, the novelty you can bring on the, to the table, and then how you can make people, better, especially at the team level. So that was what I did, and I think I got some appreciation for that. Not like trying to do an eye service necessarily, but it's just a way of bringing. We've come with so much from this community. We can't just hide perpetually, And when we come like that to a workplace where so much is expected of us, a lot of us are paid significantly well, we need to do something to improve practice, in my opinion. And then this is for me, the biggest one. There are some of these guys who feel that they've actually been doing so great, practicing waterfall. They are well experienced. They think that they got things done better, faster, without anybody actually taking them through our events, daily stand-up, every day, 15 minutes, taking them through the cycle of sprints, all these PIs, this demo, all this. Some of them find this thing like a lot of inconvenience. They continue to ask themselves, why are we doing this though? Before this thing came, we were fine. We were doing this, we were doing that. And yes, a lot of people don't like change, but when they realize the benefit that this change brings, people tend to, to change, and that was what I did. I was faced with a little bit of resistance as well. So people were not trying to participate during meetings and stuff like that. But I was sensitive enough to realize, part of the team health, I was able to realize that somebody is falling behind, somebody is either feeling bullied, somebody is feeling disinterested, or somebody is not feeling engaged, or somebody is holding on to the agile, old ways. And I will schedule my one-on-one. We have an interaction in a very friendly, professional way, and yet following up, mentor the person, coach, and all of that stuff. And then we've seen in 2-3 months, people change. They are happy. They are even ready to do great things, give me ideas, and, everybody's bubbling, all because, I showed some patience. I didn't try to fight people to come my way. I was trying to show them this is the end goal. This is where we're going. This is what you stand to benefit. If only we can compromise a little bit. And I'll tell you today, I feel a lot more relaxed, a lot more. I feel like I have like a family kind of, all because, like I said, I followed a particular footstep. I took it easy with myself. I was a little bit relaxed. I wasn't too much kind of afraid of making mistakes. All of these things can come together to really make our start a mess as Scrum Masters. But I think overall, we need to know that an agile environment is a changing environment with changing requirements, with different challenges, and we have to be ready to change as well. We have to be dynamic. We have to be open-minded. We need to be ready for whatever is coming our way. And at the end of the day, also acknowledge that we are servant leaders. All right, that's the little I wanted to share with everybody, so at least we can be encouraged to never to, drop the ball on this journey of Agile and continue to have fun and enjoy our job as individuals, whether you are on the job already or you're a new person coming and or you're expectant or you're waiting for your interview. It's a beautiful job, and you can't be so worried about the change. Thank you all. Now it's time for questions, and if you have any questions, any concerns, I'm here. Any questions, everybody?
Hey, that was amazing, Tammy. I'm amazed that I've never heard your voice. I've never seen your face. I thought I knew everyone, but
oh yeah, I've been a very quiet guy.
Oh wow, you don't sound like one, but that
Oh really?
presentation was awesome. Yes, it was well put together.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for encouraging those who are still looking and for letting them know that it's not so bad.
Exactly.
Hopefully everybody will get there soon. And good luck in your journey as you've started and you're enjoying it. You forgot to tell us how much they. Okay, you said good money. That's okay. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Please don't put me out there. It's just good. It's just good enough to
No,
be able
I'm
to.
just kidding. Of
I
course, of
know.
course.
I mean, we are all. I think we are very much privileged to have what we have because we dare to change. We really. I think we are all. We are survivors. We are champions. We are winners. To daring to come this route is audacious.
It is.
People should be. I mean, I really appreciate that some of our guys are doing very great. They are, facing the storm, weathering the storm in everywhere, and coming out great. I know people who were nowhere were doing something they didn't really like, and now everybody's doing. We're able to smile at the end of the day. I saw you. I heard you sharing your testimony, your experience after the day. You could still smile and laugh. That's amazing. That's the kind of thing that Agile has brought our way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mama T. Anybody else?
Hi, Mr. Tammy.
Hi, Osato.
Yeah, thank you so much for your presentation. It's very insightful, and I can tell you that you're very natural at this.
Thank you.
The way you calm up, you're definitely very natural at it. My question to you is, I wanted to know, was there any or what was the greatest challenge you faced working as a Scrum Master when you first started? Was it walking through the Scrum board, or was it just, facilitating meetings? What was the greatest challenge that you faced?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. The most, I have always known that as someone with a background in teaching, I wouldn't really necessarily have problem talking to people, but I knew I didn't have any technical experience in terms of IT. So asking me to come, and I know we were trained on how to manage Jira. I'll use Jira as a tracking tool and the Confluence and all. Now I was face to face with Jira. This is live now on my computer. So I had to create a team board. I had to track the sprints and see what's going on from the backlog. So in my head, I thought the backlog was like a bag. I was waiting to see like a bag, and then all the user stories are inside. I didn't see that. So I had to quickly, like I said, bring in theory to practice. I had to just understand that these were all representations. Everything we did, most of them, when it comes to the IT world, was like a representation of the real. So I had to, again, ask questions, and then I dared to face it. I saw, oh yeah, this is an icon, the backlog, the epics, the features, the capability, the stories, and all of that stuff. So it was a little bit scary because you have people around you who thought you knew what to do. That was the biggest thing for me. I didn't know a lot, I know that I passed the test, the certification test, and I've been a part of this team in terms of interaction. But so I had to like find a way to make sure that I delivered, because these guys have put a burden of expectation on my shoulders. And I tried to talk to Coach Femi, Coach Vicky, some of my friends on the board, on board, the community, and I was able to do well. And I went on YouTube as well. I was learning voraciously, actually, because this is like life and death thing. So for me, the biggest thing was managing the softwares, the Confluence, updating the, for example, they had some past retro reports or retro whatever on the Confluence. I needed to edit and update and put the new ones and stuff like that. It was the first issue on my head. How do I do this? And then, I could see that, oh yeah, these are the estimates on the stories. They use hours. They were using hours to estimate their stories, which was awkward. But I was all ready to introduce immediate change. So I couldn't ask for so much. So I was just like, let me just flow along with it. So that change eventually came in one of my weeks, because I used to do Agile Q&A for my team every week, every Thursday. So I addressed that idea of using hours to estimate stories later. But I saw that I just gave myself a soft landing. I got familiar with the Jira board, the Confluence page, the team, Microsoft team, and all of that stuff. And then that was it. Everything else wasn't very hard. Talking to people, even though at some point I felt like a minority in the midst of our traditional developers who are not from this side of the world. That didn't bother me a lot, because I knew I could integrate, I could talk to them, I could make them, feel like we are just one team, and that was what I got. So it was just about Jira, but eventually I overcame my fears.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I'm seeing the question is that, Tebi, how long did it take you to get comfortable with that? I had to get comfortable within a week. Within my, after the onboarding, that was my grace period. I couldn't really, you could hide a lot of ignorance during onboarding. For me, it was a time to really, really read. I already had my job offer. I was excited, and yet I had the new challenge of, okay, you have the job now. You want to stay on this job. So while everybody was listening to HR, I wasn't really into that. I had already got the job. I was reading, I was asking questions. I wanted to translate the theory to practice. So after a week, I I started on this. I learned how to navigate, because they already sent me their computer. So I was getting familiar with the interface. I was moving around, asking questions before my restart date, or my because I knew we're going to start with at least daily stand-up. I knew that one was going to come. So I was getting ready for that, and that was it. So like a week, because I felt there wouldn't be so much chance for me to mess up. If I mess up too much, all eyes will be on me, and I probably will not have a job. But I thank God for the support I got from everyone. It's that's just I kind of estimate that, So I got some support. I kept talking to people. Yeah, so that was it. Any other question? Thanks for those questions, though. I hope I answered those questions right.
Yeah, you did. Thank you.